Welcome to today's welcome to today's Facebook and YouTube Live. We've got people tuning in from all over the world. So as always, in the comments, be sure to say where you are from. It's so fun to see where everybody lives. Let's just dive in here. We have got a lot going on over here at the Scott household. The kids are spending spring break with their dad right now. And so I am trying to just get as much as I can get done while the kids are gone. So I have been doing all of the laundry, cleaning out the garage, spring cleaning, reorganizing the pantry, getting ready for their birthday parties. So anyway, they've only been gone for like 2 days, and I feel like I'm already trying to get so much accomplished. Hi, Nancy. Good to see you. Dory's from Virginia. Welcome. Hi, Jenna. Good to see you. And I feel like I'm starting to memorize where everybody is from too, because I feel like you guys are my friends. I've known you all for so long. And I've got kind of some crazy hair going on, so don't mind me. Laura Montgomery is tuning in on Facebook. Good to see you. And Betty is tuning in. Hi, Betty. Welcome. Susan, it's good to see you on here as well. Laura says you look awesome. Thank you. I went shopping for some basic kind of nicer springish clothes, and Ross and TJ Maxx have been my best friends right now. So anyway, thank you. That's really kind of you to say. Teresa, good to see you on here. Hello from Kansas, Renee. It's good to see you. It's a beautiful day there. It's a little bit I don't know, dreary outside. We've had some warmer weather, and then today it's still a little bit chilly. Um Jen is from Long Island, Jennifer Smith. Darlene is from Oregon. Sharon is from Tasmania, Australia. That is so cool. Welcome, Jody. Good to see you. And Christina Bell. Hi. Stephanie Torres. Welcome. Glad you were here. Um, all right, let's just dive in here. We have got a lot going on. Like I said, I've been spring cleaning the garage, and I have had so much stuff with this move that I am just trying to get rid of. And so I have just been busy selling things on Facebook Marketplace, which has been great. And my kids have had a growth spurt. So I have been gathering what we need and donating what they have outgrown. So that's been great. Chris says, howdy from beautiful Texas. We've got several people watching from Texas. Welcome. Sandy's from Nova Scotia, Canada. Welcome, Sandy. Glad you're here. Donna is just tuning in on Facebook. Hi, Donna. Welcome. And Candy's from Minnesota. Welcome. So, have you guys like every year I just get into this spirit where I'm like, I want to clean my entire house top to bottom and spring clean everything that I can possibly think of. So while the kids have been gone, that's what I've been doing. I'm also going to be decorating the little boys' room, redoing a dresser that I thrifted for $40. If you've watched my recent vlog, you'll see on there. I talk about my recent Facebook find. So I'm excited. I'm going to be chalk painting a dresser. So I just ran into my Lowe's today to see what colors they have, and I'm thinking like a sky blue color would be so pretty and so cute. In my boys' room, you can see some of the pieces on this side that I'll be selling on Facebook Marketplace right there in the background. That's awesome. So anyway, yeah, I have you guys been spring cleaning as much as I have been? I have just felt this need to simplify and declutter my life, my house, my home. And then revamp and refresh my kids' wardrobes because they are just huge growth spurts right now. Dory says it's been quite warm here the last few days, with the exception of nights and early mornings. Yeah, we go through these spurts where it's like super warm and I'm wearing shorts. Like yesterday, I was wearing shorts, and then today I'm back wearing long pants because I'm so cold. Dory says, my house needs a deep clean, but I struggle with motivation. You and me both. Sometimes I just need like a good diet soda or a walk outside to get the motivation I need. Or I watch somebody else on YouTube like clean their house. And if for whatever reason, it makes me want to clean mine. So that's what I will be sharing with you guys this week. Are you going to be staying in your house? Is Van's question. I want to stay here as long as I possibly can. It is a rental and it is a brand new townhome that they just built. So I'll stay here as long as I possibly can. I think the lighting is awesome. It's really bright and cheery in this space, and my kids and I love it. Dottie says this time of the year just brings that desire to go through things and simplify. I feel you on that. I think the hardest part for me is I donate things to like my local thrift shop. The hardest part for me is to not go into the store and see what they have because then I just bring in more stuff into my home. But in this new space, it is fun to decorate. So it has been fun. Okay, Corrine, good to see you on here as well. Okay, you guys, let's start answering some of the questions that came in. Darlene over on Facebook asks, what do you do while the Quints are away? Usually the first day they're gone, depending on how tired I am, I rest. I kind of take it easy. I declutter, I tidy up. My kids do clean up their own rooms, their playrooms, but I still find that they just need a little bit more organization. So I usually tidy up their spaces, their play spaces, and then I usually just dive in and do laundry. I know this is weird. Everybody has a different system when it comes to laundry, but with the quintuplets, I choose to do laundry every other week when my kids are at their dad's because then I can just have it run for like 4 or 5 hours, like all day, and I don't plan anything and I just get a ton of stuff done at home. Before I had quintuplets, I used to do laundry 3 times a week. And that was when we were a family of 4. And so now that I have quints, it's just easier. And sometimes they're just, oh, you can see they're building so much out where I'm at, that tractor behind me. But I just feel like that's the easiest way for me to do it. So that's what I do typically when they're gone. And then I like having some sort of project. And so right now I'm redoing the boys' rooms. I'm really excited and I want to surprise them. So they get back this weekend from their dads from spring break. And I am swapping out their beds to bunk beds. And I think my boys are going to be so happy because they're going to have more space and more room to play in their room now that they're really into like Legos, Magnetiles, building things, cars, racetracks, Hot Wheels, like all of that good stuff. My boys, I just want a separate space from their sisters for them to do that. And then nobody's knocking over their creations because that's really important to them. Marie says, you were a super mom and always so positive. How do you handle it if one of your children hurts your feelings? Hugs to you and you all. So, Marty, is your question about like if they hurt my feelings, like as a mom? Um, I'll wait for your response in the comments. So, I'll read that again. How do you handle if one of your children hurts your feelings? Usually they're hurting each other's feelings. And so sometimes my kids need to take a break because honestly, like having quintuplets, it feels like you're always at a birthday party, but the kids all look like you and they never go home. So sometimes my kids just need to take a break from each other. Um, so sometimes just having sections of my home where my kids can go and play and do their own thing has been really helpful. But yeah, sometimes they do hurt each other's feelings, and so they do have to say sorry sometimes. Sometimes though, I feel a little sad in the way that my kids say things, and so we talk about it in my house. Like we use I feel statements like I feel sad or I feel excited or I would like this. Like that's been really helpful for my kids in just learning how to communicate. Okay, next question is from Julianne Worth from Facebook. Hi, Jamie from Australia. How are you coping with the smaller laundry room and appliances? Much love. I would say my last house and my last several houses actually had double washer and dryer units. And that was really great because I could get the laundry done a lot faster. Um, I think in this new space, the only thing I don't love about my laundry room is it doesn't have a sink. in the laundry room. So I have to use the bathroom sink. Honestly, right now I'm using the bathtub because my boys and my kids, they're so hard on their clothes. So we get a lot of stains. And sometimes my kids' clothes need to soak for a day or two just to make our clothing stretch and last longer, as we are on a budget and we're trying to simplify. So that's the one thing I don't care for. I don't think I've noticed much of a difference, honestly, having just one dryer unit and one washer unit. It honestly hasn't bothered me that much. The only thing that's kind of different is it has like a smaller barrel or a smaller drum. And so I have to wash clothes like 2 loads of darks and 2 loads of whites and 2 loads of colors. But I think it's also because the quintuplets are just getting bigger and older, and so their clothing is bigger than it used to be. So it actually hasn't been too bad. Okay, Miriam's joining us. Teresa is from Turkey. Welcome, Teresa. Okay, Devin's tuning in. Please, Davina, hello. Please post some old memories of the Quints, like when they were just walking or talking. Okay, Devina, I am working on that. So all of my old videos, all of the old footage has been taking up so much storage space on my computer, and I'm paying for extra storage right now. So what I'm working on, and it's in the works, is extracting all of that, putting it onto a disk so that I can make like old memory videos for you guys. Is that something that you would be interested in seeing, especially if you're newer and have just started following us, especially over here on YouTube? I think it would be great to have a playlist to look back at how far we've come as a family and how far these kids have come and how much they've grown. So I am working on that. It has taken hours and hours and hours worth of time, and I'm super grateful, actually. Shout out to Chad because he has been the one working on that for me. He is so kind. So, yeah, she says they were seriously so cute when they were little. I know. I've been looking at old photos as they're popping up on my camera roll, and I would love to share with you guys some old videos. I haven't watched those in a super long time, and honestly, you really can't find them on YouTube because I don't have record of them on YouTube. So that would be great to create a playlist and you guys can look back and see all of those. The babies were so little and so cute. So stay tuned for that. Debbie asks, will we hear this week when you and Chad, will we hear when you and Chad will marry? I would love to be remarried, and I think I've commented on this before. I would love to be remarried. So if I get remarried, I will definitely share that with everyone on here. Gina asks, how have the Quints been doing in school? And do you think the same? Hold on just a minute. I had somebody calling me. Do you think you'll have the kids in separate classes? Is Gina's question. I think so. The only thing I don't like about having my kids in 4 different classes is when it comes to class parties, I don't feel like I can really volunteer like I normally would in my child's class because I'm trying to jump from class to class about every 15 minutes during the class parties. And so I don't get as much time as I would like to for volunteering and helping in the classroom. But I think it is a good thing that they're split up into 4 separate classes because my kids are developing their own identity outside of quintuplets. And I know there's debate from the comments about this. Like I always call them the quintuplets or the Quints, and some people say, well, they're their own individual person. My children identify as both. They identify as their own person, but they also identify and are proud of being a quintuplet. And so it's something that they really take ownership of. But I think it's been good for my kids as individuals branching out of each other as their own best friends, making those friendships outside of each other and figuring out and finding out who they are outside of each other, which I think is so good. Susan said, just getting on. I didn't get a notification. Well, I'm glad you were here. You were just in time. You can go back and rewatch this. But we have only answered about 4 of the questions that have come in. So yeah, you'll be just fine. We're glad that you're here. Stacy says you do an amazing job and you know what is best for you and your kids. Thanks. And I think with Skylar, my co-parent, we talk about what's best for our kids. So it works out well. Okay, next question is, did Lana go to Disneyland with their dad and the quintuplets? I love your family. This is from Amy Youngman. Lana did go to Disneyland. He's at Disneyland right now. Skylar sent me over a picture of the quintuplets. They're all dressed up in little princess outfits. Well, the girls are, and the boys, I'm not sure what they're wearing, just a couple of t-shirts, but it looked like they were all having a good time. So they are doing well. They're happy. I haven't talked to Landon yet. I don't necessarily like interrupting his parent time when he's with his dad, but I will touch base with him. Um, the girl, I don't think I've shared this. There is a particular girl that he likes right now that's become his best friend, and she happens to be in Disneyland. I think the time like overlaps by a day. So I'm hoping they get to spend time with each other. Each of my boys just they really aim high when it comes to the type of girls and people that they admire, that they like. And this girl, again, reminds me of Tatum in a lot of ways. She comes from a great family. She's really cute. She has great social skills, and she's really confident and really sweet to Lannon. So, anyway, that's just become a wonderful friendship for him just this year. Okay, next question is from Laura. Does Chad know John Schneider from the Dukes of Hazzard? I have not Googled that name. I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. I actually just saw him right before I hopped on to film this. We met up actually at a gas station because I was heading out from Lowe's, and he saw my car and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And so we met up real quick at a gas station. He bought me some chocolate milk. I gave him a smooch and we each parted ways. But I am going to go see him in just a little bit because his daughter is playing in a golf tournament down here in St. George. And so I'm going to go spend some time watching her and cheering her on. He has some wonderful kids. So I'm excited to get to know her better too. Okay, our next question is from Susan. Did Shaden graduate from college yet? And what did he get his degree in? You know, I just talked to Shaden yesterday and a little bit this morning. He'll be graduating with his associates. He's been going to school in Wyoming the last couple years. I'm not sure what his degree is actually in. I don't think I've asked him. I know what he's majoring in, but I'm not sure about what the degree is just yet. Your boys date girls like their mom is what Darlene says. That's really sweet of you to say. I think my boys are attracted to girls that remind them of their mother, as far as like characters, qualities, and traits that they like about me as their mom, but they also need that balance too. And so each of these girls are different than me in many ways, which I think is great for them too. And each of these girls has a really great sense of humor, which I think is important with our family. Okay. Rhonda asks, how long have you and Chad been seeing each other? It'll be a year in May. Connie asks, are you engaged yet? What do the kids think of your new man? I am not engaged currently. What do the kids think of Chad? My kids think he's great. They think he's wonderful, and he's an amazing support to my family. Kat says, with my kids, we divided the holidays and class parties. That way I could give each child quality time in their own classrooms. Kat, I think that's something that I'm going to look into this next year. They really only do 2 class parties. And so that's something even that dad and I could trade off. That way everybody gets a little bit more time. So I do like that you mentioned that. Kat, were you divorced too? The way you divided it, or you just divided it with your kids? Okay, next question is from Jerry. She is from Connecticut. What is Shaden majoring in college? You and Susan were thinking the same thing. Shaden is majoring in social work. So he has been working with some different kids, taking some really interesting classes, and he likes what he's studying and he loves his teachers. They make it so much more fun to learn the information. Magda asked, did Facebook straighten out your payments? The answer to that is no. Still working on that. Mavis asked, will the girls be flower girls and the boys be page boys at Shaden and Tatum's wedding? The girls will be the flower girls. I always wanted to be a flower girl. So I think it's kind of funny that I never got that opportunity, but my girls are gonna get to experience that probably multiple times, and if my kid's dad chooses to remarry one day, hopefully our little flower girls will be flower girls, if he gets remarried too one day. I'm not saying that he is or that he's dating anyone in particular. I just think it's fun that my girls are named after flowers and they'll get that opportunity. I don't know that my boys are going to be page boys. It's really up to Tatum and Shaden how they want to do that, but we will support them in whatever they decide. Okay, next question is from Alicia. How do you keep the kids' schoolwork organized? Paperwork that comes home, etc. Honestly, I don't have a system for that yet, and it's something that needs improvement for sure. I have like this cabinet, this blue cabinet that I'm looking at right now, and all my kids' paperwork just goes there, but I've been considering getting each of my kids their own like acrylic. I know they sell these at Target, like an acrylic filing system that can be mounted to the wall that each has their name on it. And that way, when they get home, they can put all of their papers in their reading for the week, their assignments, because they come home and they are just like showing me all these papers as I'm trying to load them into the car at school. And it honestly, I love it, but having five at the same time, sometimes that drives me nuts when we're just trying to get our seatbelts on and we're in the drive-through at the school. Sometimes that's why it takes us so long. So if my kids know that as soon as they get home, they've got a system where they can put each of those things and the things that they're excited about and the things that they're proud about, that would be really helpful. Since it's a little bit tighter of a space, I'd probably have to put it around our kitchen table or the sides of my desk. So that is another project. Kat says, yes, I was divorced. Their father wanted no part in the kids' lives. I'm so sorry. I've heard several women that that has been their experience. Actually, I was talking to a gal at church and she was sharing that too. And she said for her, the hardest part is she wished that their dad was involved in her kids' lives and she wished she had breaks because that's one thing that she didn't get to experience. And my kids have a dad that is very much a hands on dad and involved in their lives. And so I do get those breaks every other week, and I'm able to get quite a bit done in that week, which I am grateful for. Okay, next question. Did Chad color his hair? I think he should leave it gray. Chad has not colored his hair. I think he's had gray in his hair since he was in his 20s, from what he told me. I didn't know him in his 20s, but I have seen a few pictures. So, no, he hasn't colored his hair. Carrie asked, the biggest thing that helps or has helped you with being overstimulated by toddlers, specifically 2 and 3-year-olds. Man, if you are raising 2 and 3-year-olds right now, hats off to you. That is a magical age, but also a trying age. I think for me, when my kids were 2 and 3, it was not only physically taxing, but emotionally draining because my kids required so much from me. I would say if you have a best friend or someone you're close to, like having some time away, even like an hour where someone else can like watch your kids and you can take a break and just like have a change of scenery. Every once in a while, I would get to do that, and it was so wonderful. Or find something that you have that you can look forward to. I would say like daily. So for me, I'm wired to where I need 20 to 30 minutes of just like peace, of like stillness, whether that was like during nap time or watching a show with my kids and then just like what I call resting my eyes. That was really helpful for me. But hats off to you. It sounds like you've got your hands full if you're asking me about 2 and 3-year-olds because you were in it right now. Next question. If you and Chad marry, what would you be looking for in a house? I am renting right now, and so is he. We have talked about like what we would want in a house. For me, I love like a charming vintage type of house, and I love home renovation projects. I know it's a lot of work, and besides electrical and plumbing, I wouldn't wanna have to do that part, but if I could find a sweet little fixer-upper and affordable that I could save up for to lower my overhead, I would love that. I love like cottage, charming, even transitional type of decor. So I would love a property like that. Chad and I have both talked about we would love a house that has trees, and sometimes that's hard to find in southern Utah because we are in the desert. But that is kind of what we would be looking for. Do I want to stay in St. George, Utah forever? I am open to living other places. I'm pretty sure my kid's dad is too. So it's just one where the price would have to be right and the timing would have to be right. So, okay. Donna says, I have 4 kids now grown, but their dad left us when the kids were 15, 13, 11, and 10. With God's help in my family, I was able to raise them. They are doing good now. Donna, hats off to you. It sounds like that was a lot of work and probably a lot of heartache. And you really had to show up and be there for your kids on the daily as they processed all of that. So I am just amazed at the depth of you as a mom and happy to hear that your kids are doing well. And it sounds like you're so proud of your kids. Okay, next question is from Carol. Haven't you known Chad through all the seasons? Yes, I've known him, I think at this point, through all the seasons, to answer your question. Betsy asked, will the Quints get baptized when they turn 8? Yes. Dad and I are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Our kids can choose with their own agency if they'd like to be baptized at 8. And I'm pretty sure my kids are going to say yes to that. Beauty of Nature asked, how was your day? It's been a really good day. And I've been getting a lot done today. Okay, Carrie says, yes, I have 2 and 3-year-old boys. Wow, those are back-to-back ages that require so much, and probably in a lot of ways, Carrie, I would think that it feels like twins. I don't know, does it feel like twins for you, having your kids that close together? I think the hardest part for me is I wish that having multiples, I wish that there was like 5 of me so that I could spend one-on-one time with my kids all day long. Like I love that being a mom and having to divide out my time to make sure each of my kids' needs are met has probably been the biggest stretch and the biggest difference in comparison to raising my older boys. Okay, Tiffy Girl asks, what is your favorite things you like to do with Chad? Favorite things, I like going on walks with him. I like just spending time with him. Anything where we can just spend time together, and especially with the kids. I think that's my favorite thing. I love going to Grandma and Grandpa Smith's cabin with him, and he usually invites his kids, and whoever can make it comes, and I love spending time like that. I also like watching, like a good movie and just spending time together at the end of the day. So, um, Nancy says, you've done a lot to edit your YouTube vlogs. Nancy, I appreciate you saying that. It's definitely been a learning curve. And it's something that I really enjoy the creativity of. I think the only tricky part right now is it takes me time to edit the vlog, and sometimes my time is so valuable, I need to get some things done or some projects done. So I appreciate you all being patient as I am learning how to edit our own videos. What are some obstacles and triumphs you have been facing lately is Megan's question. I would say learning how to edit my own videos. Organization when it comes to moving into a new house, it always takes me a good 6 months to feel like I've moved in, I feel settled. So personally, I would say that. And then I think like another thing I've been working on is like subconsciously the way I speak to myself, right? Like I think as women, we give other people grace, but I don't always give myself grace. I extend it to others, I give it to others freely, but I don't always offer that as freely to myself. And so that's been something that I've been trying to check in on myself daily this last couple weeks and just speaking more positively to myself and telling myself like the hard stuff, like I can do it. I can do it. It might take me a while to learn how to do it, but I can do it and I've got this. So that personally has been something that I've been working on. And I went to church on Sunday And I can't quite remember what the lesson was particularly about, but I remember the comments that women shared in class that really stood out to me. And one woman was there visiting from Arizona. She's from Chandler, Arizona, I remember. And she commented that we offer grace to Jesus Christ in making up the difference for where we lack, right? We offer him the grace to make up the difference and know that he's giving us grace, but we don't always make room for that grace for ourselves. And her comment just sat with me the last 3 days. And so that's been something that I've been trying to work on personally, and I'm seeing a lot of growth and progress just in myself with that. So extending grace, but also giving ourselves grace. Um, love is for you, my dear, is what she just said. I think love is for everyone, and there's always room for more love. Jennifer says, I am in the same boat. I've noticed myself tearing myself down, and I have consciously been building myself up instead. It is so powerful. I think when we change the way we think, we change our behavior, and having a positive attitude and outlook, even when things are tough, even when things are hard, can make a difference. And I've been reflecting back on where I was 7 years ago, right? Like praying that I could deliver my kids and that they would be healthy and happy for like as long as I could stay pregnant, right? And during that time, you probably saw quite a bit of pictures, live videos that Skylar and I, my kid's dad and I were doing, but it didn't come without a lot of crying and a lot of tears and a lot of prayer and turning to God. And I think, when life gets hard, it doesn't mean we have to feel happy all the time, but we can look for that silver lining. And that's been something that I have been trying to do as well. Somebody says going to church is amazing. I also go on Sunday and go each week too, is what Gina says. Yes. I feel like being a part of a church community can really help build us as people, whether that's through Bible study, scripture study, doing things on your own to build yourself up, to feel that connection with God. It's really made a difference for the better in my life, especially during the hard things. Um, you are so strong and can do hard things, Rachel says. I struggle with showing myself grace as well. Why is that as women? We have such high expectations of ourselves, like, especially women that have to work. You have to act like I saw a sign. I follow this lady on Instagram. You guys will have to follow her. Her name's Peaceful Barb. She's so good. She's a therapist with a PhD, and she posted a picture of herself holding a sign that somebody else said that, like, as women and as especially working women, you're supposed to work like you don't have kids. But then when you have kids, you're supposed to act like you don't work. And her comment really sat with me this week too. I thought it was a good comment because sometimes I feel that way. Okay, last question is from Caitlin 93. What do you love most about spring? I love so many things about spring. I love that it is a time for fresh starts. I love spring cleaning. My idea of a good weekend, besides playing with my kids, is cleaning out a closet and getting organized. I love so many things about spring. I love that it's my kids' birthdays. I love shopping in the stores because they have bright and cheery, colorful clothing, and their color